Hello. Welcome to the 10th part of the Boundless Necromancer. A special thanks to my Patreon for supporting me. And if you want to support, you can join my Patreon for as low as $1. Thank you very much. Let's begin. At the beginning of this part we see that a skill window appears saying, Skill Burrowing Heavens rank A+. Proficiency 0%. Basic effect can infuse a nature of absolute destruction into your body or weapon through the use of magic power. Additional effect can destroy magic power itself, and the harder it is to destroy, the more magic power it consumes. Sungyun gets ready to attack and says, "Shall we look for the rat?" System says, Skill Burrowing Heavens activated. Limitations to what can be destroyed have disappeared. Sungyun hits the dark sphere with a really powerful attack. It starts to crack. Sungyun smiles and thinks, able to destroy magic power itself. This is a great skill. Sphere starts to break. Sungyun creates a big hole in the sphere. He jumps inside it. System says, you have entered the magic domain nothingness. He thinks, magic domain. So the inside of the barrier is treated as a different dimension altogether. Sungyun uses skill Spiritual Eyes. And there are a lot of really big and strong looking monsters surrounds him. System says, beings other than the domain owner will see terrifying visions, which cannot be deactivated using skills. Beings other than the domain owner will lose their sense of direction, and all skills related to their senses will be sealed. Beings other than the domain owner will receive a penalty where all abilities will decrease by 18. One of the monster attacks him. He thinks a vision powerful enough to exert physical force. System says, Authority Serene Mind activated. The effect of magic domain nothingness have been disabled due to the authority. Due to skill mana resistance, sense of direction has been recovered and a portion of the sealed skills have been released. Due to skill forceful breakthrough, the penalty of all abilities being decreased by 18 has been released. A bright light appears, and monster starts to disappears. Sungyun reaches ground. He smiles and thinks, the clothes that White Crane Swordmaster gave me can be recovered through magic power. Pretty useful. Some mage-looking guy appears behind Sungyun and says, surprising. To think there was a user talented enough to break through the magic domain in a minor dimension like this. Sungyun cuts his head off. His head starts to disappear and he says, however, this too, is a situation that I had foreseen. Some really bright light appears. System says, Myth Battle Tested Warrior activated. The effect of Indomitable will apply to your use of divinity. The effect of Reverse will apply to your use of divinity. There are a lot of mages. Copy appears there. He is really surprised and says, divinity. Is he a disciple? There should be no gods within a mere minor dimension. Sungyun activates a blood skill. Mage uses invisible. Sungyun uses a really strong attack. All of the copy of mage disappears. He says, even if you're a god's disciple, since you've entered a mage's domain yourself. Sungyun sees him and thinks, that one's fake too. The real one's hiding somewhere. Mage summons some flying monsters and says, you cannot escape death. Self-destructing spirits march. All the spirits fly toward Sungyun. Sungyun bring counter shield in the shape of a baseball bat. Sungyun hits all the spirits with it. All the spirits starts to blow up. And Mage starts to disappear. Sungyun sees that and thinks, is he thinking of dragging this out into a prolonged battle? Although the space of this sphere is quite big, it's still limited. He changed the shape of counter shield to a sword. And thinks, this method is a bit brutish. But I'll sweep up the entire contents of this sphere. System says, skill counter shield will release all absorbed damage at once. True Heavenly Blood Demonic Swords engraved skill strengthening apprehensions rank B+ has activated. Skill First Mixed Demon Swords exclusive effect dual consecutive hits has activated. Sungyun hits the ground with a really strong attack. A really big explosion happens. Sphere starts to crumble, and the mage is not even able to stand. Mage says, how is there a monster like you in this minor dimension? Sungyun says, destroy the black sphere immediately. Mage asks, black sphere? Sungyun says, release the nothingness space. Mage says, bullshit, do you know how much I consume to make this space? Sungyun activates, skill Truth Seeker of Blood. Sungyun breaks his arm from multiple spots and activates Amplified Pain. System says, your target will now experience 2 times the amount of pain. Mage starts to scream. Sungyun says, release it. Mage says, do you know who I am? How dare you do this to me, the one who will become the future empire's great mage? Sungyun breaks his second arm into pieces as well. Sungyun says, release it. Mage says, wait, damn it, I can't release it, I can't, it's not something I can release. Really? System says, skill flame dragon eye, senses the target is not lying. Sungyun says, explain which dimension you come from, you name, and why you came to Earth. Mage says, can I make you an offer before that? It'll definitely be on help to you. Sungyun hits him and says, shut up and answer my question. Mage says, I'm from Aries, and my name is Sindel. The reason I came to this minor dimension, I mean Earth, was to gain faith. Sungyun says, what do you mean by that? Mage says, did you come to me not even know? Sungyun hits him again and says, I told you not to say anything useless. Mage says, wait, I'll tell you remove you foot. Within hidden ancient remains, I read ancient literature that says that outstanding mages or knights can break through the wall of ability building through faith. Divine power accumulates within the heart circle through the faith you receive from people. Through that, you can reach the stage of the sixth circle. Th6a Great Mage's stage. Sungyun says, if you want to earn faith, don't you need to save people? Mage says, fear towards an absolute being is also a type of faith. I judged that it would be faster to plant fear in the people's hearts through genocide. Sungyun asks, why did you choose Earth? Mage says, divine power with traces of other gods cannot help you raise your class as mage, according to the ancient literature. So I came to a minor dimension where I judged there would be no god. Sungyun says, so, to summarize, you committed mass genocide to develop your abilities. Mage says, something like taught. Sungyun hits him and says, you crazy bastard. Next question. I know of the god of verification and the god of battle. Mage says, I didn't even know such gods existed, but. System says, skill flame dragon eye senses the target is lying. Sungyun thinks, I was acting just in case, but he knows. Sindel definitely know about the two gods. Sungyun picks him and says, yeah, I get it. The more important the info, the less inclined you are to speak. System says, skill torture technique activated. You can now use a more natural torture method. It is easier to instill fear and all forms of torture will rise in effectiveness by 10%. Sungyun says, let's see how long you can last. Mage says, kill me, stop healing me. Sungyun says, in the end, you said everything, so why bother putting me through all this trouble? He thinks, thanks to Sindel, I gathered a lot of info. Divinity, magic, the god of verification, and the god of battle. As well as some miscellaneous info on the Aries dimension. Sungyun thinks, has it been around 7 hours since I've entered the sphere? The long torture session has cut away at my focus. Still, I understand what divinity is now. He thinks, first, simply possessing divinity does not mean that you can become a god, also. What's known as the central dantian in martial arts is called the heart circle in Aries. And when this magic organ is opened, you can start accumulating divinity. Divine power is a purer energy than anything which easily reacts to all will. And is the purest form of magic power. Additionally, if you accumulate divinity, you can rapidly jump stages. Divine power, which sensitively reacts to all will, helps you reach a higher level than the abilities of a mage. The problem is that I don't know how to use it properly. There are two methods for gathering divine power in your heart. The first is to break down your magic power bit by bit, which is incredibly hard and take a lot of time. The method to resolve that is faith. Whether that's through worship or fear, if you receive a strong belief, you can accumulate divine power within your heart. This is the info that Sindel got from the ancient ruins. Mage says, there was an oracle. The oracle said I can never reveal this. A priest who serves the god of battle found me and told me that oracle really. It was through the oracle that I found the ancient literature about divinity. Sungyun thinks, the god of battle. I thought there might be a chance, but to think he'd be so personally tied to this. He thinks of flashback where god of verification says, do not trust the other gods. They will now consider you their enemy. He thinks, it's just as the god of verification said. I don't know why a god that I once saw through a message has considered me their enemy. But the hostility the god of battle holds towards me is definitely having an influence on Earth as well. If this continues, in the end, the god of battle is now completely my enemy. Sungyun kills the mage. System says, you have absorbed the spirit of Challenger Sindel. Proficiency has risen by 4.4%. True Heavenly Blood Demonic Sword's exclusive effect blood consumption has activated. By absorbing Challenger Sindel's blood, the item's rank has grown to a minus rank 1400 by 1400. The numerical value of the rank has reached its growth level, so the current item has grown from a minus rank to a rank. By absorbing Challenger Sindel's blood, engraved skill. Soul Ego Infuse rank B+ has been engraved into blood consumption's exclusive slot. Sungyun says, if I want to fight with a god, no, if I want to even be able to struggle against one, I need to develop my divine power. The 10th part of the Boundless Necromancer ends here. Please subscribe and like, and if you want me support financially you can join my Patreon only for $1. Patreon and Discord links are in the description if you want support me. And a special thanks to all my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks for watching.